Hello everyone and welcome. I am Inquisitor Ara, and this is the inaugural episode of my new role-playing series, How to Roleplay in the Elder Scrolls Online. Today, we're going to work with the basics. We're going to take a look at where the events of the Elder Scrolls Online falls into the established timeline. Bear with me here, as the first several of these videos are likely to contain information most of you already know. I'm trying to keep this cohesive, and establishing a solid lore foundation is very important for role-playing. The Elder Scrolls Online takes place a little over halfway through the Second Era, before any of the events from Arena to Skyrim take place. In fact, one of the most important things to remember about ESO is that it all takes place about 250 years before the birth of Tiber Septim, and almost 310 years before his reign. This is extremely important to remember, as this means there is no ninth divine. Hjalti Earlybeard, Tiber Septim, or Talos, however you know him, has not been born yet. This era is marked by three major events: the Three Banners War, the PLANEMELD, and the Interregnum. The first thing we're going to look at is the PLANEMELD. While the PLANEMELD itself didn't actually begin until 2E 578, 4 years before ESO even takes place, the events that led up to it are important to understand. After Emperor Leovic, the last of the Reachman Longhouse emperors, legalized Daedra worship in Cyrodiil, a man named Varen Aquilarios, Duke of Chorrol, sparks up a rebellion. Civil war breaks out, ending with the death of Leovic and the crowning of Varen as emperor. However, only rulers in possession of the Amulet of Kings, having the power to light the dragon fires in the Temple of the One and maintain the covenant between Akatosh and the mortal races, are viewed as legitimate. Varen gathered the 5 companions, Lyris Titanborn, Saisahan, Abner Tharn, and Manimarco, to search for it. It took them 2 years to locate it within the bowels of Sancretor, a large fort in the Gerald Mountains north of Chorrol in Cyrodiil. They brought the amulet back to the Temple of the One in the White Gold Tower, and there, Manimarco corrupted the ancient ritual meant to make Varen Dragonborn, the title of all legitimate emperors of Cyrodiil, and relight the dragon fires. This corruption led to the Soulburst, destroying the barrier between Nirn and Oblivion that prevented the Daedra from having more direct access to Nirn. This also killed many mages and drove many more insane. Daedra began showing up in much greater numbers, and the constellation of the Serpent, signifying chaos, dominated the night sky. Manimarco's master, Molag Bal, Daedric Prince of Domination, Corruption, Vampirism, and Slavery, then began deploying his Dark Anchors, tethering Nirn to his realm of Cold Harbor and pulling the two together. When the story of Elder Scrolls Online starts, it is 2E 582, 4 years after the Soulburst, and countless people have disappeared. The PLANEMELD is well underway, even though many do not know or understand that it's taking place. These events also took place during a tumultuous period of Tamriel's history that came to be known as the Interregnum, the war-torn time between the end of the Second Empire, led by the Riemann dynasty and the Akaviri potentates, and the establishment of the Third Empire by Tiber Septim. It began in 2E 430 with the assassination of the last Akaviri potentate, Severian Chorak, and every one of his heirs by order of the Night Mother, and executed by the Morag Tong. So, we are 152 years into the Interregnum. The end of the Interregnum will be the beginning of the Third Era as defined by Tiber Septim, and won't be for another 314 years. With the White Gold Tower and the Ruby Throne all but vacant, the disparate races of Tamriel have organized into 3 distinct factions. Queen Eren, recently returned to Somerset Isles, has made alliances with the cannibalistic Bosmer and the wily Khajiit, forming the first ALDMERI Dominion. In response to an Akaviri invasion led by Ada-Sum-Der Kamal, the Ebonheart Pact is formed by the hardy Nords, the crafty Dunmer, and the cunning Argonians. And following a vicious civil war and poverty caused by dwindling trade routes, the warlike Orsimer, the disciplined Redguard, and the smooth-talking Bretons entered into the Second Daggerfall Covenant. With the supposed death of Emperor Aquilonius and an Empress Regent on the throne, Clivia Tharn, daughter of Abner Tharn and wife of Varen, many people have risen to challenge imperial rule. The leaders of the three factions are fighting over who should rule Tamriel. And this has come to be known as the Three Banners War. The Three Banners War is a continent-spanning conflict. Queen Aeren believes humans to be the root cause of Tamriel's recent turmoil and seeks to restore elven rule to the entire continent. King Emeric of Wayrest seeks to restore the Empire and end the chaos and suffering that festers in the vacuum of the Empire's absence. The Pact fight to remain free, to preserve their independence and the freedom of their homelands. None know how the war will end. The players, however, should be aware that none will win. This period of time will continue until Tiber Septim conquers Tamriel. But all continue to save and fight for Tamriel. Here is how things stand. The Imperial throne sits empty. The dragon fires are cold, unlit, and from every corner darkness grows. Tamriel, all of Nirn, is in danger, and a war of many fronts rages across the land. Who are you in this age of conflict? Where do you stand? Choose your alliance well, players, and walk your path. Well, that is going to be it from me for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, if you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you hit that like button. Feel free to comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with my newest content. Also, if you want to support me, feel free to check me out on my Patreon. Links are in the description below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great week, have a great weekend, and I will see you again in Tamriel.